Welcome to the Military Peak YouTube channel. Let's start with the latest news of the military agenda. It is known that mutual attacks on certain fronts are at a different level. One of these fronts is Donbass. To remind you, operations are increasing frequently in this region, which is one of the reasons for Russia to start a war. This shows that the Russian soldiers could not overcome the Ukrainian defense. Despite this, the new tactics of the Russian troops, who tried their luck, were announced, this time from Bakhmut and Donetsk. Ukrainian border guards in the area stated that there are now fewer professional Russian soldiers at the front and intense fighting continues in the center of the city. The Ukrainian State Border Guard Service stated, the battle for Bakhmut lasted for almost 9 months. Despite significant losses, Russian forces continue to attack the settlement and advance slowly. The conflict has moved to the central part of the city. It has been announced that the defense has become difficult to hold, but the regional defense continues to be held. Moreover, the border guards announced the tactics of the Russian troops at the front. According to the statements, a group of 5 to 10 soldiers is conducting reconnaissance on the front line. They launched the offensive, provoking the Ukrainian defense forces to attack. In addition, Russian troops also used drones for numerous aerial reconnaissance. These troops, which crawled forward for 3 days, attempted to attack. Thus, they want to realize the aim of encirclement against these attack groups by trying to discover the firing points of the Ukrainian forces. However, these tactics of the Russian army often do not work. On the contrary, these troops, who had to face more losses, have not yet been successful with their new tactics. Intense clashes on the front are increasing day by day. Moreover, in clashes with border guards, many Russian planes are hunted and attacks on the positions of Russian troops increase. This makes it difficult for the Russian forces, which have already suffered heavy losses, to achieve success. The Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, on the other hand, made statements about a large group of troops affiliated with the armed forces of Ukraine, which is expected to counterattack. As it is known, a large-scale counterattack is expected from the Ukrainian army in recent days. Many analysts even made predictions about how these counterattacks might start. This time, it was reported that Russian troops attempted to attack the Ukrainian forces who were planning a counterattack. It was stated that these attacks were carried out in Chasiv Yar and Konstantinovka regions, where it is thought that the Ukrainian army could launch a counterattack. It was also announced that the attacks were carried out with the artillery support of the Russian armed forces and operational tactical aviation forces. In the past days, mutual attacks have increased in the Donbass and Kharkiv regions. Both sides suffer losses in these attacks. However, the realization of these counterattacks or the execution of predictions shows that the armies are worried. On the one hand, it was reported that Russia's winter-spring offensive ended in failure. Kirill Budanov, head of the Chief Intelligence Agency of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, announced that the Russian Federation made another attempt on March 31 this year and again failed. Budanov reported that Russian troops should have reached the administrative borders of the Luhansk and Donetsk oblasts, but were unsuccessful. He also emphasized that the Russian Federation does not have the offensive potential to carry out a strategic offensive operation. And he stated that this potential will not be realized in the near future. He also stated that Russia has been working to take control of the Bakhmut region since June 2022 and that they still could not take control of the region, no matter how intense the war in the region. This causes the Russian army to lose ammunition and military resources for so long. Despite this, Russian troops continue their offensive efforts in many regions. This time, Russian forces carried out 25 missile attacks using S-300 air defense systems on the Zaporizhia region and Kamishuvka in Zaporizhia Oblast and Snyarovka in Mykolaiv Oblast during the day. At the same time, it was announced that the Russian forces carried out 28 airstrikes. The Russian Federation carried out 4 attacks with multiple launch rocket systems against the points of the Ukrainian forces and the infrastructure. These attacks continue to result badly for Russia. Because as such attacks of Russia continue, the support provided for the Ukrainian army also increases. This time, it is reported that Slovakia has delivered 13 MiG-29 fighter jets for Ukraine. The Slovak Ministry of Defense announced that these promised warplanes were transferred to Ukraine. At the same time, Slovakia stated that the arms supply for Ukraine is one of the measures taken to support the Ukrainian armed forces. Moreover, these MiG-29 fighters are notable for not being a Russian-Soviet military aircraft that was first flown in 1977. These warplanes, which are used to perform air combat missions and to protect the airspace, will provide great advantages. Because these warplanes can capture air targets up to 200 kilometers away. In addition, these aircraft, which have high maneuverability, have important features. These aircraft, which are operated in many countries of the world, will be able to achieve great success for the Ukrainian army. As long as all this support for Ukraine continues in the long run, the chances of the Russian army's success in the war will continue to decrease. For these reasons, it has become necessary to continue and increase such critical supports. As the successes of the Ukrainian army in the war continue, the losses of the Russian army will begin to reach a level that cannot be compensated. Every move is now more important than the previous one. In this direction, much more attention should be paid to every step taken and every decision made. Otherwise, it will be difficult to compensate for errors and losses. In the face of this situation, Russia may even have to end this war it started months ago. In the coming days, we will follow all the military and political developments in the world, especially the Russia-Ukraine war, for you. To be informed of developments faster, you can subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Also, if you like our video and leave a comment, you will make us feel your support. For now, I wish everyone a good day. See you soon.